Hi everyone, this is Harshvardhan and you are watching on the Web YouTube channel, and today we are going to learn how to send email in Django. So in this we have two different tutorials. In the first we will learn how to create forms, and in the second one we will learn how to send emails. So in this lecture we are going to learn how to create forms and render them on template. So let's get started. And if you have not yet subscribed, hit the subscribe button and also hit the notification bell icon so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. So right here on my Visual Studio Code, and to create form, we need to create a file called forms.py inside our my app. So I'll create a file, say forms.py, and right here I will import forms. So I will say from Django import forms. We have to create a form, and for what purpose we are creating the form? For email. So we will say class email form that will inherit from forms.form, and we need to specify where we want to send the email. For that we have two, and that will be forms.email field, right? Because we have to provide email address of the receiver. And now we will add a comment field. Let's say user want to provide some comment on that particular post that should be sent, or the message that should be sent through email. So we will say forms dot character field, and one thing, that this character field will just provide a box. Like for example, when you provide name, you have a single box, a single statement where you can write. But we don't want to provide such kind of text box for message. We want a big text box called text area, and for that we will provide widget parameter. Widget equals to forms dot text area. Great. And also I want to tell you, if you are providing an email, let's say you are sharing a post through email, you don't want to include a comment, right? It's not necessary. So we will provide another parameter called required is equals to false. Okay. And since we are learning how to create form, so I just want to add another parameter called name, and that will show you the difference between this field, that means the comment field, and the name field. So let's finish this, and then I will tell you what are the difference. Say max length of user's name can be 20, or we can also set it to 50. There's no problem. Okay, save this one. Now jump to views.py file, and at first I have to run the server. So I'll just run the server, refresh the page, jump right here inside the detail view. Now think, at what point user want to share the post? At the time when he's reading the post. That means he should be on the detail view, right? So right here at the bottom we need a form that should be able to share the post, correct? Great. So here I will say from dot my app import, it should be dot forms, right? It should be dot forms import email form, and I will say email form equals to email form, and in the context I will also pass email forms. Control X, Control V, and email form. So in the template we will use this thing, and this is the variable which holds the email form. Save this one, and inside the template, where is template? This is template, inside detail view, because we want to render our form in the template view. That's why inside the template view I will just say form, email form. It should be email form. Save, jump back right here, refresh, and now you can see that we have our form at detail view, correct? Now see, this is, that means this text bar is your character input that will take the characters of maximum length 50. Okay, this is 2, which is an email field. Let me show you the developer console. So here you can see this is, that means this text bar is of type text. This, that means the 2 is of type email because we want to send the email, and this one is type of text area. That's why we have provided widget equals to forms.textArea, because we want to provide a text area, because user want to type some message right here, where here he will just write some name, right? So I'll just remove it. Now let's come back to the Visual Studio Code, and right here, see, inside views.py file, what we have created, when we have a get request, we will use that form to create a new form and render that on our web page. But what are the scenario? Think about how things should go. See, at first, when the user have created a get request, then we should provide a new form. When the user have pressed on submit button, that means now user is creating a post request to post detail view. In that case, what we want to do? We want to parse the information. We want to retrieve the information provided by the user, right? So for this, what we will do? We will say if request.method is post. If the method is post, that means user have clicked the submit button, then only what we want? We want to say email form is equals to email form. So this is the email form, that means the class that we have imported, the form actual, and inside the parameter we'll pass request.post. Okay, so I will show you what is inside the request.post after finishing off our form, because we don't have any submit button. I will tell you how to do that. At first we will learn how business logics should go, right? So we have created our email form and we have provided all the information from the dictionary. This request.post is a dictionary, and all the information provided by the user is now filled inside the form. Now we will check if email form is valid. That means there is no error. For example, user have provided correct email address and everything is correct inside the form, then only this if condition, that means this statement inside this if block will be executed. Okay, now I will say cd is equals to email form dot clean data. Okay, save this one, and I just want to print cd, and I also want to print request.post. Okay, now just comment this out, save this one, and great. Now let's come back to detail view. Right here we have created our form, but this form isn't appealing. For that we have one attribute. We can use email form dot as underscore p. That means display form as paragraph. Save this, refresh. Seems good. But is there any other method? Yes, there is another method. You can also render form as unordered list. Save this, Done. So for now we will just put this as P, and now we have to create the form, because right here we don't have anything. That means we don't have any submit button, and we can write everything, but how we can post that? For that, you will come back inside the detail view. You will define form with action of post. Sorry, method of post. We will talk about action later on. In action, we'll provide the link, and that will be done later when we have to send the form information to another link. But here Django knows to which location, that means to which URL the form should be posted. So it will automatically post the information to the view, that is actually to the URL that represents this detail view. Okay, so I'll just cut this and I will paste it right here. Save this one. I will create input button. It should be submit, right? Submit, and value is send email. Save, get back right here, refresh. We have send email button. But remember, if you do not provide this submit button inside the form template, then you won't be able to send the post request. Okay, you won't be able to execute post request. That means you always have to remember that this submit button should be inside form. Okay, great. Now let's come back right here, and I will provide Harshvardhan to pappu@tappu.com, and I will say good post. Now I'm going to send email. What is this? It's CSRF called cross-site request forgery. And to prevent this, the Django have created a CSRF token. And how to provide that inside the form? You just have to say CSRF underscore token. Okay, save this. See how I have provided. I have not provided it as a variable. I have provided it as a tag. So curly braces and then percentage sign. Get back right here. Go back. Refresh. Provide all the information. Send email. Nothing has happened. Let's check back to console. So right here you can see that we have our query dictionary, right? So when this query dictionary is to be printed inside the console, jump to the views and see. It should be printed only when the request is post. That means the send email button, this submit button have worked perfectly, right? Great. Now as I told you, this request.post consists of a dictionary called querydict, and it will have all the information provided by the user through form. The CSRF token that we have provided, the name we have provided, to, and the comment. Okay, but this is a query dictionary, and how should we convert that to a general dictionary, right? So for that we have this cleaned data method that will implement this. Now let me print this clean data, and I'll get back and I'll again press send email. And right here you can see that at first we have query dictionary, this one that we have printed, and this is CD, that means the clean data, and this is of type dictionary. Okay, great. Now what if we just try to implement this clean data method on email form without checking whether the form is valid or not? Okay, so I will try to do this again. I'll copy this, I will paste it right here, save that. Let's reload and get back right here, and now I will say send email. We got an error, and it says email form object has no attribute clean data. Why? Because Django says Until and unless you check whether the form is valid or not, you cannot use clean data attribute on the object. Okay, that's why we have to provide this is valid attribute. That means we have to check whether the form is valid or not. If it is, then we are able to process the information. Great. I'll save this. And till now we have learned how to create the form, but there's something that I want to discuss. I'll just refresh and everything is now in correct position. See, even after sending the email, that means once we click on the submit button, we have our data inside the field, right? How should we able to remove this? What do you think? How we can process, how we can remove this information? What I will do, I'll just create a get request, cleaned. But how to do that in Django? How we can create a get request again? And for that, we have HTTP response redirect. Let's import that. So from HTTP response, we'll say HTTP response redirect, and from shortcuts, you are going to import reverse. Awesome. Now I will say return HTTP response redirect with reverse. Where we should reverse? We should reverse to this particular page. So I'll just go to urls.py, copy. Inside here I'll say my app, inside my app, which view, detail view, with argument, I will say args equals to pk. Okay, so we will be redirected back to this particular page. I will save this, let Django reload it, get back here, refresh, provide some information. Very good post, send email, done. So now we are able to provide the post request, and also we are able to clean the form, right? Great. Now everything is good, but we haven't seen what if the form is invalid, right? Let's take an example. Say I will say Harshvardhan, and inside instead of writing pappu@tappu.com, I'll just say papputappu.com, and I'll say good post but not send, and send email. Yes, and that's, see, here you have not provided any post request, but the browser is able to understand that it's the email field, and that's why we should provide this @. But if you have any older version, then the Django will create an error and it will say that this form is invalid. So I'll just provide @ and I can say this, and let's check. I'll send email. And right here you can see that Django has created an error and saying please enter a valid email address. Let's check the console. So right here you can see it is posted, it is a post request, but we have no print cd statement because form is not valid, it's invalid. That's why we have to provide .com, and now again say good post send, boom, send. Yeah, that's it. So that's all for this lecture. In the next one we will learn how to send email. See you in the next one, and don't forget to ask any question in the comment section, or you can ask that on my Instagram ID harshvardhan.ai. Thank you.